Hi, welcome to my channel, Look 10 Years Younger. So today's video is going to be slightly different. I want to make a video where I'm talking to myself at 21. So it's like giving myself advice, sharing the words of wisdom that others have told me, conclusions I've come to in life, things that I've learnt. And I hope you find this interesting, especially if you're young and you're just starting out in life, or anyone who finds this interesting. So here we go. I'm going to break this down into different sections. So we're going to start off with health. So firstly, don't go out without using SPF 50 on your face, your neck and your hands. So the more you do this, then the less you'll age as you get around, mid-30s, and you certainly won't regret doing that. So it may sound a bit of a hassle, but sun protection is the major thing in skincare. Forget any other type of fancy, skincare trends. The main thing you need to focus on is protecting your skin from the sun. Secondly, buy expensive sunglasses that will protect the eye area, because this is where you're going to age first. So I now use Oakley, those, or any brand that's made for extreme sports. So they will literally block out 100% of UVA and UVB, and you're really going to protect this eye area. Don't buy cheap sunglasses. Cut dairy from your diet ASAP. If I'd have done that when I was younger, it would have, my life would have been so much easier. Dairy causes all kinds of problems in your gut and in your body, reactions and allergies, so I'm much better off without it. Start buying organic food whenever possible, because there's so many pesticides and bad stuff that you're consuming when you're buying normal food, and that's building up in your system. It's also the same for tap water. Buy a water distiller and start drinking that rather than tap water, because there are hormones, pesticides, all kind of chemicals, chloramine that you're ingesting, and all that is building up in your system, and you want to avoid that. Same with plastic as well. If you try to avoid buying food which is packaged in plastic, because that plastic seeps into the food. If you're making like a ready made meal for the microwave or for the oven, don't put it in the oven in the plastic container, because as you heat it, that plastic kind of mixes in with your food as well. So try to go plastic free, because it will probably make your life a lot healthier. Without wanting to sound like an old man, don't do any sport which puts impact on your knees, because you will regret that later. So instead of running and jogging, try swimming or cycling. Look after your knees. The next section is work, wealth and money. So first of all, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to a job, or even a relationship for that matter. So throughout my life, I've been made redundant twice, and that is a big thing when someone pulls the rug from underneath your feet and you have no money to pay your rent, and it's kind of a big drama. So I decided after the second time I would never put myself in that position again. So I started my own business, so I would be in control. You don't have to start your own business, but outside of that job you can have some other incomes. So you can start an eBay business, or whatever your interests are, just have another income outside your job. So if you do lose that job, you're not completely screwed. You have something to fall back on. The same with relationships. So you may be in love, and that's great, and I hope it all works out for you. But if it doesn't, you want to make sure that you haven't given up your life for that person. You want to make sure you stay in contact with your friends and maintain those friendships. You want to make sure you carry on doing your hobbies and your interests and all the stuff you love doing. So if for some reason it doesn't work, you still have your life there. It'll be so much easier to get over that breakup if you've maintained your own life. Around 2016, this thing called Bitcoin will appear, and you won't have a clue what it is. Just buy it. Spend as much money as you can on it, hold it, and don't sell it. You will never regret it, and you'll be very, very rich. You don't have to decide what job you want to do for the rest of your life when you're 21 years old or you're 22. You have so much time to try different fields and see what you enjoy. And really, when you get pressurized, whether it's from your parents or it's from a careers advisor who has no idea what they're talking about, just put that to side, because the important thing is that when you discover what your passion is in life, and when you can link that to the job that you're doing every day, your work is no longer like work, it's something you enjoy. And when you're in that situation of enjoying what you're doing and you've got passion and you excel, you become very successful, and that obviously means making money and having more life satisfaction. So don't be pressurized by people saying you have to do this or you have to do that. Following on from that, when you leave school, okay, you can try some different jobs, try some different fields, see what interests you, and start working for a company. And maybe you'll spend 2 or 3 or 5 years in that company. And while you're there, you want to observe what's going on. You want to understand how they run the business, how they recruit, how they do accounts, how they do customer care. You know, how does that business function? And if you're interested in that field, that is, then you can go away and start your own business. Okay, you don't have to do that straight away when you're confident enough to do it. Because one thing I've learned is that you won't make money sat in an office working for someone else. The people making money are at the top. Yeah, so what someone told me years and years ago, and I didn't understand at the time because I tried so many different jobs and I was not really happy doing anything. And someone said to me, maybe you don't feel happy because you only fit in at the top. And I didn't really get it, but what he meant is that, you know, you fit in being a manager or a director or, you know, self-employed person rather than doing all the monkey work at the bottom. So that was something. When I think about that now, I realise that's true, and it may be the same for you. So yes, go and learn about the field you want to work in, and then go away and start your own business. Whether you're a beautician or an electrician, you will make much better money and have a more satisfactory life if you have your own gig. Whenever you have any kind of work meeting or interview and you go into some business, always make extra special effort to be very kind and polite to the secretaries, the receptionists, the support staff, because not only they may be the person to save your bacon in the future if you do get that job, but they may be, you know, they may put a good word in for you after the interview's done. So it's really vital that you're polite to everyone when you're in a situation like that. So in our society, everyone doesn't function on the same level. So you have super rich, wealthy people. They could be what you might call the elite or the aristocracy, or just, you know, super rich people. And then you've got working class people. And we're not all functioning on the same level. So people who have been brought up in this this elite background, they're brought up with confidence, right? They're not brought up to expect to work in some dead-end office job. They're brought up to expect they're going to be successful in whatever field they go into. Yeah, they're brought up with confidence. They're brought up with a mindset that's going to ensure they're successful. Now, yes, they've got money, and when you've got money behind you, that's obviously going to make you feel more confident, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the mindset. So if you think of Richard Branson, you know, his kids probably didn't grow up, you know, and then he expected them to go and get some normal job. They were expecting success in whatever they did. And if you're working class, if you are not surrounded by people who are kind of motivating you for huge success, then you have to learn to do that yourself. And it took me about 20 years to realize this, but it is possible, and you can change your mindset. You can start believing in yourself more, and that's really important. So when you come into contact with these kind of elite people, watch how they operate. So with relationships, for example, they don't go out and look for a partner at 3 a.m. when they're drunk in a nightclub. Yeah, they, you know, the guys are brought up to look for a trophy wife who's like a model or very beautiful. The girls are brought up to look for a very wealthy man who'll be able to support them and their family. And wealth preservation comes into this as well. So it's not like a lottery winner who loses their money in 6 months, you know. These people know how to play the game. They're brought up with this. So working class people are not encouraged to understand investing or the stock market or precious metals or anything like that. So educate yourself from a young age into, you know, the stock market. It's really not that difficult. You can learn how to make investments. You can learn about, you know, all this kind of stuff that working class people aren't supposed to understand. You know, these are the type of people who are not that affected when there's an economic crash, because of the knowledge they have, and they understand economics and macroeconomics and what's going on in the world. They can put their money into gold, into safe havens when, you know, the banks collapse and stuff like that. Whereas most people didn't have that knowledge. So you can gain that knowledge yourself. I mean, I myself have spent, you know, quite a long time watching YouTube videos about macroeconomics and investing and stuff like that. So I have a bigger picture. And the other way that this will really help your life is that you're getting different narratives from different TV stations, different media outlets and newspapers who've got their own agenda they want to push onto you. So one story can be reported in 5 different ways by 5 different newspapers. However, if you understand the economic situation in the world, if you've kind of got an understanding of that, that will really help you kind of navigate everything you're getting told. Last one in this section is don't be cheap, okay? Don't try and save a few quid on a flight by taking a cheap airline instead of a better one. You know, don't take a night bus instead of a taxi because you want to save a bit of money. I've been in so many situations where I've been in another country and there's no support because I went for a cheap airline, and I've been stuck somewhere, and it's just been a nightmare. So it's not really worth trying to save a few pounds or dollars or whatever. Just pay for the best service you can afford. Next section is life direction. So first of all, forgive everyone. Just forgive everyone, not because they deserve to be forgiven or you're letting them off the hook and they're getting away with anything, but because when you forgive someone, you feel better, and that's all that matters. If you hold on to anger and hate and all these stressful emotions, it raises your blood pressure, it keeps you awake at night. Honestly, it affects your health. So forgive people, walk away and let them go, honestly, is the best policy. Love yourself. Doesn't that sound like a big cliche? But it's true. If you can learn to love who you are, then your life will be so much better. You have no insecurities, you have none of these nagging voices inside. Your whole life experience will be so much better if you can do that at a younger age. So love who you are. You're meant to sound like you sound. You're meant to look like you look. You're meant to act like you look. You're not doing anything wrong by being yourself. Don't try to be anyone else, because that doesn't work. It's a waste of energy. Be yourself. Only you can fulfill the purpose that you have here on this planet, and you can't do that if you're pretending to be someone else. So just allow yourself to be you and love yourself, and then you'll realize the right people will gravitate towards you. Yeah, if you're being fake and you're operating on a fake level, then you'll attract fake people. So be yourself and love whoever that person is and accept them completely. So the next one has 2 parts. It's a bit like a contradiction. So the universe will give you opportunities in life, and sometimes it'll only be once, okay? So you don't have to seize it, but if you don't seize it, you'll probably regret it. So I've had instances where I was once offered a job in New York when I was only 19, and I just had self-doubt. I thought, I can't do it, I'm going to disappoint them, so many things running through my head, and that opportunity disappeared because I didn't give an answer. There's also been opportunities where I've been approached by very attractive people who are interested in me, and I, in social situations, and I have not gone for it. I've kind of thought, oh yeah, I'm not sure, I'll come back later and chat to them. They were gone, the opportunity is gone. So if you have an opportunity in front of you, just grab it, seize it. If you screw it up completely, it doesn't matter, because you seized it and you've tried your best. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is that when you get older, so at 45, when I look back at my life, I can definitely see that things happen for the best. So if you didn't seize that opportunity, then don't feel too bad, because looking back, you'll realize, oh, actually that wasn't right for me. I mean, imagining myself at 19 years old in New York, I probably would have felt isolated and alone and vulnerable. Probably wouldn't have been the best thing for me at that age. So looking back, the best thing always happens. So don't stress. We have an amazing gift. We have intuition. We've got a built-in sat-nav system which is guiding us and telling us what's right and what's not. You have to get in touch with that when you're 20 years old. If you can do that, your life will be so much easier. If you're in a relationship and that person says something and you think, wait a minute, that's a bit strange, is that person cheating on me? And then you say, no, I'm just imagining it, I'm being crazy, I don't want to start a fight because everything's going so well. You're not imagining it, you're not crazy. When you have these intuitive feelings that are coming up, I don't know where they're coming from, whether it's the universe or God, or I don't know, but they're always right, 100%. At 45 years old, I can tell you when these little feelings are coming up, it's not for nothing. If you are thinking, I want to keep the peace and I don't want to start an argument, there's no point, because that relationship is probably already dead. If you suspect they're cheating, that's for a reason. So, you know, the relationship may already be over. So it's better to cut your losses and save your time and have that conversation ASAP. Any situation in your life, whether it's friends or work, when you have that niggling doubt that's coming up in your head, always trust it. Always trust it. Your intuition is never, never wrong. So trust it and get used to listening to it. Don't push it down. What's helped me hugely is firstly meditating, so I can kind of let go of anger and problems and hate and things that come up and get on with my life. But the second thing which has helped me is the law of attraction and the laws of the universe, and understanding that we're creating our own reality. If I'd have known that at 20 years old, my life journey would have been so much better, more satisfying and fulfilling. So, you know, read into whatever kind of studies interest you, or whatever, you know, maybe religion interests you, because you need a way to deal with life. And for me, that was, you know, the law of attraction. So you're able to control what's going on in your life. It's not random things. You're never a victim of anything. So during your 20s, you should be going crazy. You should be dancing and clubbing and drinking and having fun and laying on the beach and enjoying life to the maximum, because you have so much energy, and this is the time to really go for it. When you're 45 years old, you don't have that energy anymore. Sometimes I think to myself, you know, I hear a song and I think, oh, I'd love to be in the middle of the dance floor, you know, clubbing. Then I think, no, I'm just going to go to bed, because you just don't have that energy. And the other part of that is that the energy that you have, you can achieve so much. Yes, there's the enjoyment factor and the kind of hedonism and dancing, but there's also the work factor. So if you started some kind of business in your 20s, you have immense energy to carry that through, to really make that the best it can be. You know, you need less sleep. You can, you know, work 12 hours a day, then go out and go to the gym. You've got so much energy. So in a way, don't waste the energy on some job you don't enjoy. You know what I mean? Use that energy and create something from it if you can. The final section is relationships and people. If a relationship ends, if somebody dumps you and walks away from you, let them walk. It's their prerogative to no longer love you or want to be with you, and you have to let them go. You can't force someone to be with you, and even if you could, it wouldn't feel very nice. So allow them to go and find someone who will make them happy if you're not able to do that. It's better that they do that now rather than, you know, stay with you for another 2 years not being happy, then they tell you. You know, it's better to get this over and done with sooner rather than later. And always remember that you will get through this. Any kind of breakup, you will get through it. You've done it before, you will do it again. You are strong enough to get through this. Someone once told me, don't sweat the small stuff. And that is so, so true. When you're walking around living your life, someone could say something that upsets you or do something that, you know, irritates you. Doesn't mean you've got to retaliate. It doesn't mean you've got to start an argument. Just, yeah, whatever. You've got to just let it go and move on with your day. Don't let people ruin your day. Whether it's online or in person, bitching and fighting and saying nasty things, it never ends well. I mean, as I was saying, you've got that kind of bitterness that is bad for your health, but in the long run, looking back, looking back now, I regret all those times I was nasty to people, even if they said something nasty to me. It's always better to be the bigger person, walk away, let go of the hate and move forward. Don't fight. Don't be a troll on the internet. Don't be a troll in real life. And the final thing that I read ages ago is try to be like water. Water is non-resistant, okay? So when water is rolling down a hill and it comes across a rock, it just goes either side and it continues its journey. Now that's something that's really helped me in life. So that was it. I hope you found this useful. If you have, comment below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day, and don't forget to check out my other videos which are on completely different subjects. Actually, my channel's actually about anti-aging and skincare and stuff like that. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.